In the Singapore business scene, one of the most coveted marks of success is to be listed on the Singapore Exchange. This is the story of one such company that has made its mark, the story of how it got to where it is, overcame challenges, and strategized for a greater market share. This is about its blueprint for success. The 34-year-old Fabian Munai juggled work and studies for 2 years in order to obtain his Master of Science in Business Information Technology from the University of Wales in the United Kingdom. But unlike most students, he doesn't have to endure the daily commute, he's never late for classes, and he can learn in the comfort of his own home. This is no futuristic scenario. This has been a reality for about 24,000 students in Singapore alone for more than a decade. Fabian is a student at the Informatics Global Campus, the first global e-learning institution in Asia and one of the largest of its kind outside of the United States.
I chose Informatics because it has a good reputation and it offers flexibility for working adults like myself. E-learning allows me to learn at my own pace, anywhere at any time, and I could discuss coursework with lecturers and classmates via the online portal.
Informatics Education is a private tertiary institute specializing in education and training in information technology and business management, including marketing, accounting and finance, human resource and hospitality. Established in Singapore in 1983, it offers programs from diploma right up to postgraduate levels. In 1993, it was listed on the SGX main board, making it the first private lifelong learning company to be listed in Singapore. Today, it is one of the largest learning institutes in Asia with a global network of 273 centers in 53 countries, stretching from Asia-Pacific to Africa, the Middle East and Europe. It has expanded beyond a single center to include subsidiaries NCC Education, Informatics Academy, and Informatics Global Campus.
Informatics was founded in response to economic development in Asia. Rapid economic development must be supported by skilled information technology manpower and knowledge-based workers. Informatics was created to supply these two types of manpower to sustain economic development in the region.
Hence, right from the beginning, IT was in its DNA. It quickly distinguished itself with its IT courses that prepared students to embrace an increasingly technologically savvy work environment.
Informatics was the pioneers in private education, giving students a wide range of academic pathways to choose from. Effectively, Informatics supplemented the country's needs for skilled manpower. The mission of Informatics is to train our students to be global citizens, to enable them to be gainfully employed. We train our students to be business-oriented. We hope that our graduates, through their work commitment, can leave footprints in the lives of their associates and colleagues.
Another factor that drew students to its city campus was the educators Informatics Education hired from around the world to provide top-quality education and training.
We are very fortunate to have one of the largest pool of full-time faculty in Singapore. What this means is that we can maintain a consistency of quality in the delivery of lessons to the students, as well as create a very consistent environment for the students that they are comfortable in, and create a lot of engaging lessons and curriculum for them.
30 years hence, Informatics Education Limited is stronger than ever. Over 500,000 students have graduated from its academy. In Singapore alone, its campus has more than 1,500 local and international students from 26 countries.
Three important factors contributed to informatics success over the last 30 years. First of all is the formula. A school is not about just giving a certificate. It's about a system where we mix the providers, the partners, the lecturers, and even the facilities, and most importantly, the management that manages the whole system. Second of all is time. With a formula, you need time for it to work, you need time to adjust. A company with a 30 years experience, a 30 years history, has sufficient time to not just implement the formula, but adjust the formula to get it right. But the last factor is access to capital. And in 1993, Informatics decided to go on the stock exchange, and that allowed them to tap on the capital markets and fundings for their M&A, and that allowed them to grow beyond just in Singapore alone.
Also enriching the quality and credibility of its programs is the Assessment Services division that it pioneered. All its centers worldwide share this common examination center.
The division ensures that scores are consistent across regions and amongst academic staff, and that the marking and moderation is fair.
It also helps to develop assessments with independent academies so that the test accurately measures what the students have learned.
With a centralized examination service, we're able to ensure a global standard for the students, whether they are in Singapore or in Myanmar, Nepal, or any other countries in the region. What this translates to is giving the student and his future employer a certain confidence in the results that he has achieved.
Then in 1999, in keeping with its focus on IT, informatics education started something that was truly revolutionary at that time. Asia's first e-learning institution and largest outside the US, called Train then, and the Informatics Global Campus now. Students can log on to virtual classrooms, interact with classmates and lecturers in different countries, tap into an e-library and other resources online, and watch pre-recorded lessons anytime, anywhere.
The collaborative space between the students has actually expanded globally. So now students from different countries can work together on a single project.
Informatics education now has over 70,000 e-learners in nearly 70 countries. It has even developed e-publication study materials to give flexible access to knowledge and information.
Based on our track record, we noticed that students who has embarked on the e-learning platform has actually can do better than students who are actually going for classroom-based studies. One of the reasons can be because the e-learning studies is more flexible in the sense that they can give students more time or ample time for them to do analytical studies based on the given topics given by the facilitator.
But when it started 20 years ago, it was a little ahead of its time. After the break, how software presented a challenge to the hardware of advanced technology. Informatics education started because of the recognition of a rising need for infocom technology. That ability to see ahead and plug a gap became one of the group's major strategies for growth. In 1993, it again saw a need, this time to reach mature students and working professionals with different lifestyles and puzzles of disposable time. The solution was an e-learning platform. While that idea was revolutionary, the execution was challenging.
20 years ago, we are faced with the limitation and accessibility of IT technology. And at that time, students are not that IT savvy.
Time has solved that hurdle, and informatics is moving to new frontiers.
Now, the learning portal is a 3D one with virtual rooms that students can walk through. Students are also no longer bound by a computer or the lack of one. Any mobile device can give them access to the e-learning platform.
Informatics could reach out to students beyond centers that they operate physically in the other parts of the world. So if they are not operating in the US, or if they are not operating in the UK, or not operating in Europe, they can now use e-learning as a way to get to markets in those areas.
Product differentiation continues to be the group's strong suit and its strategy for success. Leveraging its position as one of the industry leaders in IT education, Informatics pedagogy features the latest in IT as well.
Classrooms are equipped with the latest tools, virtual exhibitions, and virtual program previews enhance lessons.
Students are taught using simulations and gameplay.
Even the students and staff management systems are customized for easy accessibility with technology. Students' results are released through SMS and posted online. Attendance is tracked by an electronic system, so absenteeism will not be in dispute. And staff and university partners spanning the globe communicate via teleconferencing.
We create multiple channels of communication and delivery of lessons to the student. For example, we are introducing simulations and gameplay to increase the enjoyability of the lessons, because we find that students learn best when they're having fun, and the teachers get the student to reflect more deeply on the core concepts that they are learning.
We are planning to launch our virtual learning environment platform very soon to facilitate real-time inquiries from our potential students as our existing students around the world. With this platform, Informatics will be able to launch our preview talks not only to students in Singapore but also to potential students around the world.
Strengthening the product further are the partnerships Informatics Education has established with foreign universities and institutions. The institutions' programs are also recognized by international universities. This allows Informatics Education students to be accepted in those universities for credit transfer.
The relationships with these foreign partners have remained strong throughout the years. Institutions like Oxford Brookes says partnering Informatics has enabled them to gain a valuable footprint in Singapore and allowed them to graduate a large number of students from Singapore and all over the world.
Another of its strategy for growth is its global outlook. From day one, Informatics Education had its eye on more than just the local market. A year after it started in Singapore in 1983, it opened a center in Malaysia. Centers in Hong Kong and Sri Lanka followed soon after, and then there was just no stopping the expansion.
Acquisition and franchising allow Informatics to expand very rapidly. We have very thorough accreditation of our overseas center. This is to ensure that the Informatics brand is equivalent to quality.
Spreading the markets means that Informatics Education has more avenues for revenue, and it was not too overly dependent on any one source.
Education is not local. Education is now global. And this is the perspective adopted by Informatics. This is the reason why we're going overseas. We're going to China, we're going to India, because these are two of the biggest Asia markets. By having a wider market base, we basically diversify, and that allows us sustainability and a more stable revenue income.
In 1997, it added NCC Education to the group. NCC Education is one of the world's leading awarding bodies in IT and business based in the United Kingdom.
It provides assessment and certification in partnership with recognized British qualifications all over the world.
NCC Education has almost 200 centers in 46 countries across 6 continents and has conducted some 150,000 tests and examinations.
Now, what attracts these countries or students from these countries to come to informatics? I believe that informatics has right on the fact that Singapore is a well-known education hub with good education system. And at the same time, they have also brought in partners overseas to enhance the content to their customers or their students. So frankly, I think Informatics have brought the best of all worlds into their system.
For a business that has built its reputation on both teaching about and using technology extensively, maintaining an edge over its competitors has required more than just piling on more technology. In recent years, Informatics Education has chosen to fine-tune its software instead of relying on hardware. Concentrating on providing courses in growing industries are demanding.
At Informatics, our curriculum is industry-driven, and a lot of our programs are actually co-developed together with our industry partners. We do this to ensure that our students are employable now and 5-10 years into the future. Some of our up-to-the-moment relevant programs are in hospitality and tourism, gaming and animation, and in very expert or niche areas such as forensic computing and database engineering. We are also developing an emerging group of hybrid programs that will give our students the best of both the IT and the business worlds.
This school prides itself on developing its own curriculum and maintaining its own system of internal and external board exams. Increasingly, it is also providing more avenues for student care like enrichment programs, co-curricular activities, a concierge to guide new students, and niche throughout the campus for them to study at.
We have this student concierge office. If I have any queries, I will approach them. They are very helpful and they will listen to our concerns patiently. I'm also part of the student council group here. From time to time, students with similar interests will come together and organize some co-curricular activities. Our school has also given us a chance to work with them, to come up with events. So in this manner, I felt that I'm able to develop my leadership skills and my interpersonal skills. Yeah, so life here is exciting and I'm able to focus well in doing my studies well here.
Informatics education students also benefit in other ways. The institution ensures that its students are well prepared for the working world. They can turn to the Career Guidance Office for advice on career paths, and the comprehensive internship programs let students have real-world experience. In addition, Informatics is also all out to instill lifelong learning in its students and to encourage people to return to studies after gaining work experience.
I worked for the 10 years, then I decided to go for the higher education and I choose the Informatics because Informatics have a good reputation in the market and my few colleagues already studying over here. So they given me good and positive feedback about the institution. Experience was good. All the modules are related to my field. All the teachers are very helpful over here and definitely this course will going to enhance my career growth.
Informatics education has been able to arrange for internship stints for its students because it is partly owned by the Berjaya Group in Malaysia that is involved in a number of different businesses, including hotels and resorts, F&B, and property. Being part of this larger business ecosystem has helped informatics education to tap on ties with the industry. It has, for example, IT programs aligned with IBM certification. Informatics education seems to have pulled out all the stops. So what else is there ahead? More on that after the break. For the past 3 decades, private school informatics education has been guiding and training batch after batch of IT students. But in the next chapter of its business, the institution is offering something new.
Informatics is a forward-looking institution. This is the reason why we have moved to the tourism and the hospitality sector, because it is one of the biggest growing industry in the world. In doing so, we are also partnering with some of the top universities. We are also working with some top hospitality association and also working with some very good hotels throughout the world so that we can have the best curriculum for our students.
While the group may be branching into new subjects, it is not forsaking its core competency. Informatics education is hoping to tap on new technology to make lessons even more accessible to a wider market.
We created the iPad campus so that the tablet becomes the classroom for the student. They can download yesterday's or previous lectures as a movie. They can access our e-textbooks and other information resources such as assignments, assessments. which the student can then aggregate and assimilate into their projects, sometimes in collaboration with their classmates who may not be in Singapore, who might be in the region.
The idea of expansion is being relooked. Instead of adding more centers, a concerted plan is being made to carve new gateways in developing nations like Myanmar, Cambodia and Laos. This is tied to the new approach to marketing and branding.
Informatics will be looking into branding revamp and positioning for the next 3 to 5 years. Back in the early 80s and 90s, Informatics was well known as an IT training school. So moving forward, we will be looking into repositioning of Informatics as an industry leader, not only in IT but also business-related courses, adopting the latest technology to facilitate and enhance teaching methodologies. Informatics currently has a mixture of local and international students, with the international students coming mainly from countries like India, China and the ASEAN countries. We will continue to tap on these developing countries because of its great potential, but at the same time we will be doing recruitment for local students so as to have a better, more vibrant and multicultural learning environments for all our students.
Voted in 2013 as a top 10 private education institutions for pursuing computer science and IT courses by the Job Central Survey, Informatics has indeed evolved from a business that began to meet a need for IT education to one that is creating a Singapore brand in the education industry around the world. And all this in just 30 years.
Private education is very competitive in Singapore. I'm glad that Informatics is awarded the 4-year EduTrust accreditation. It is important to have this accreditation because when Informatics promote ourselves overseas, we gain credibility. And the accreditation also signifies that there is quality in the delivery and methodology that the school adopts.
From its track record, awards and consistent quality, it's not difficult to see why this private education institution has certainly proved itself a success worth learning from.